Cool.
Okay, got it.
So how are you?
I'm well. How are you? How you been?
Good, thank you. I've been
Excited,
good.
excited for Christmas Eve?
Very excited.
Just letting you know, heads up, my dog might come into the interview too. Just a little bark will be here. So
Okay. When did you start DJing? How old were you?
I think I was 20, so it would have been about 15 years ago. So I was still back home, and I was really interested into that. But yeah, it would have been about 15 years ago, and 20 years old I was.
What made you want to start DJing?
My mom and dad was always involved with the music, was still are. And then since I was a kid, I went to music school and I learned how to play different instruments. And I always wanted to, get the new tracks, get everything new, which back in the day is not like now. Shazam didn't exist. It was so much harder. And then all my friends would call me, Victor, the DJ. And I'm like, oh, okay, I like the sound of that. And I feel like that just insinuated me getting into DJing and slowly progressing.
Who are your top 3 favorite DJs and why?
That's a very, very hard question, to be honest. My top 3, number 1, I would have to say is Griz. It's like Griz. He's amazing. He's one of the best, I would say. If you haven't heard him, strongly recommend it. He, produces a combination of like funk, bass, dubstep all together, and it's phenomenal. You really, really, really need to check him out. He will be number 1. Number 2, I would say Futurecast. Futurecast is a combination of breaks, drum and bass, DJ producer, old school as well. Everything he does is a banger. It's huge. So I play at least one of his songs every week. So it's definitely my top 3. And number 3, I would say, it's a bit cheesy, but I would say Skrillex. Skrillex, I think he taught us a lot. He has so much energy on his sets. Every time I see him live, he's just amazing. So yeah, those are my top 3.
Okay. What's your favorite song at the moment?
Wow. Okay. My favorite song at the moment, just I play so many different type of music, so it's so hard to narrow it down. It has to be, well, I got a new song that I'm in love with it. I would say that will be Afterglow. It's drum and bass track that is being really stripped down, and it's like really reggae sort of funky vibe, so it really fits anyway. So it's called Afterglow by The Next Man, so definitely check it
out. How long has your longest set been?
10 hours. Yes. It was a Melbourne Cup. It would have been, I don't know, a few years back. And then, I started at 10 o'clock in the morning and I finished at 8 o'clock at night. It was long. It was breakfast, lunch, and dinner in one set. It was just crazy. Yeah.
What is your favorite festival you've been to?
Tomorrowland. Like, without hesitation, Tomorrowland has been one of my, not just my favorite festival, but favorite things in my life. It's definitely in my top 10. It's there between my wedding and meeting my wife. Tomorrowland. It was phenomenal. If you wanted something more local, Breakfast is one of my favorites here in Perth. I love Breakfast. It happens on Boxing Day. And I've been to that festival for the last 12 years. So yeah, but nothing compares to Tomorrowland. Yes.
Yeah. What is the biggest festival you've played at?
Stereosonic. It would have been Stereosonic. I don't know if you heard about it. It was one of those summer festivals here in Perth. And yeah, I opened the stage for Carl Cox and then all his friends. Obviously, he had a bunch of DJs that were playing before him. And I opened, I got the privilege to open. So I would say Stereosonic has been the biggest festival I played, yeah.
What would you say is the most rewarding part of being a DJ?
Wow. Well, you as a DJ should know this. I would say the ability to, conduct a bunch of people or crowd through music. You have this power that you're making them forget about the world and making them enjoy the music and make them have a good time and, forget reality. You are right there in that moment, and then you are controlling that. And that feeling, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. It's a great feeling. And I feel like any DJ will agree with me on this. And it's amazing.
What if you could do a duo with anyone, who would it be with?
Is that like a fictitious duo? I wish I could do a duo with like a superstar duo, or like something in Perth?
Like anyone. Could be
anyone. It will have to be one of my top 3 DJs that I'd say. I would say Grease. I feel like having a duo with him would be amazing. Like he would just get on the sax. I would just play. It would be, I can't even think about how cool it would be.
Do you play any instruments?
I do. I play piano. I play the guitar. I got some basics, drums, sort of skills. I'm not very good at it, but I know how to play it. But yeah, once I think you learn how to play the piano and the guitar, it just opens up every other instrument. Like I could play basic instruments of any kind, really. Obviously not so extreme like saxophone and everything. I could not do it. I wish I could. But piano, yes, definitely can.
Well, I can play the piano too.
Yeah, great.
So
any
if
other
you could,
instruments?
pardon?
You play any other instruments or just the piano?
Just piano and DJing.
Okay, cool. I feel like with your piano, you will notice that then if you pick up another instrument, for instance, a guitar, then the chords, obviously, once you learn the chords, then I'll do this in the piano, then I could do this in the guitar, and it sort of really links together because obviously it's music. But yeah, give it a shot, another instrument. Maybe grab a guitar and have a look, have a play. You will see that it's so much easier once you know one instrument. Yeah.
Well, I have played a little bit of the ukulele at school, and I found it kind of easy because I knew the chords on the piano.
Yes, correct. So yeah, it's very similar. So but it's good.
Yeah. If you could remix an old song, what song would it be?
I have remix for old songs. I did Old Saints, All That She Wants. I've done a Mario remix. I've done a bunch of other things, but right now, if I have to remix something, nothing really comes to mind, but it will have to be something by the Beatles or Ray Charles or James Brown. Very, very funky. I like funk, 70s, sort of something with soul that you can actually introduce to the new sounds. I really don't have a track to tell you right now, but it will have to be something in that era, I would say.
Yeah. How do you stay to date with the latest music trends?
Wow. Well, you soon just find out this, but once you become more, have a much more of a pressing as a DJ, you get invited to record pools, which means record labels send you tracks that are not released yet, the unreleased tracks for you to try it out. And then obviously some of them make it to the radio, but you already got them. That is the biggest thing right now. Record pools is called. There's a lot of them. But here in Australia, there's a few of them that I'm part of. I do that. I use SoundCloud a lot for finding funky, like cool stuff that nobody has. I love digging. I love like all right, let's see what this person followed, listening, and then so on and so on. You ended up going to listen to something completely different to what you're looking for. But I feel like, yes, SoundCloud is and Bandcamp as well. So they got a lot of unique stuff in there. Some DJs are not allowed to release these tracks, to like big, and say Spotify and stuff like that. So they use these, networks to like release their own funky, cool stuff. And I love it. I love finding something they're like, oh, what's this? You're like, you can't Shazam it.
Yeah. How do you read the crowd?
Wow. Okay. I always depends in the venue. But just put an example. When I play at the court, you got a different, like you gotta be, stage and you're overlooking everyone, which is important, I would say. I always look at people not so close to me, because the ones close to me, they're always going to be having fun. They're always going to be jumping around. I always try to look at the people at the back, making sure that they're like tapping around, moving around. Then I look at the bartenders, making sure that they're having a good time. And then that's when you sort of realize, you're like, okay, what I'm doing is great. Then do you want to keep the energy going this way, or do you want to just swap around or change the vibe, or it's getting too tense in here and we can, a fight could happen. So let me just tone it down a little, play something more pop, sing along, so now everybody's happy. I feel that there's so many variables, to be honest, but I feel that is what I focus. I always focus on the back and make my way to the front to see how the people are reacting.
And finally, what is your advice to beginner DJs?
Listening, I would say. Listen to, good, bad advice. Listen to critics. Listen to all those things, and don't have an ego. Like just take those, good and bad advices, and then just put it on board with you, progressing. Or what you're doing. I feel like that's very, very important. A lot of DJs, they don't do that. They just stuck in their own, why I'm not getting any gigs? Why I'm not doing this? It's just because, listening to what we're trying to tell you, So I feel like listening is super important. Practicing a lot. Yes, just practice as much as you can. Beat matching is, something that you slowly, you're going to get better at it, and it will get to a point that it just comes so natural. It's like riding a bike. But yeah, that is, I would say, my two most important things to teach a DJ.
Yeah. Well, thank you for giving up your time to let me interview you. I really enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, we will see you soon. Cool. Well, you have a good afternoon.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.